You know, I gotta break myself out of this weird religion funk and talk to y'all about science for a minute, if we can.
Okay, it's
friends.
time to learn.
Just for a minute.
Let's learn. Let's expand our minds.
I'm sure a lot of you are
I
familiar
mean,
with.
we've done a lot of learning today.
It has been an
That's for
educational
sure.
show, that's for sure.
Oh, for
Even if
sure.
all we learned was how to fondle balls in countries all over the world. So a lot of you guys, I'm sure, are familiar with the phrase near-death experience, right? You know what a near-death experience is. Okay, and it's kind of a colloquial usage. The idea is that your life flashes before your eyes.
Blah, blah,
You know, all
blah.
these things. It's folklore in a way. We've never really there's no way to measure that or whatever. But an accidental miracle, perhaps. Something very interesting has happened recently. Near-death experiences are not hallucinations, says first ever study of its kind. Let me tell you what happened, friends. There was a guy who was sick, an old man who was real sick, right? He had signed a do not resuscitate order if anything were to go wrong for him.
Right.
Right, and one day during the course of whatever testing the hospital has to do, he has to get an EEG, an electroencephalogram, if I'm not mistaken. Some of you know what an EEG is. That's where they put all them plugs on your head.
Right.
And then they measure all types of things with your brain waves. Sometimes they try to get you to sleep. Sometimes they shine lights in your eyes. They do different things to make sure different parts of your brain react in whatever way. Okay, so this guy that was sick, he had to get an EEG. And while he was on the table getting the test, he has a heart attack.
Oh, shit.
Right now, normally, he's in a hospital. Normally, rush to his aid, that defibrillator, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean, that fix him up, right? But this guy's got to do not resuscitate. They can't.
Right.
They legally can't do shit, man.
Oh, no.
This guy dies on the table.
But
F's in the chat for this unsung hero because he doesn't realize what he may have just done for medical science. He dies from a heart attack while hooked up to an EEG machine.
Right.
And what that means is that now they got an actual measurement of his life flashing before his eyes. Right?
Wow.
So we talked about this a little bit here recently. And it's interesting to wonder, because I would love to see the data on this.
Oh, yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm not smart enough to go through the raw, but I'd love to see some kind of synopsis of what we're talking about here. Because what it means is that, let's say your life flashing before your eyes, which, yes, they were able to confirm is a real thing. Mm-hmm. Let's say that that's a defense mechanism that your brain uses, right? Think about adrenaline or think about memory. When you're in a life or death scenario, your brain knows to send an impulse to pick up certain chemicals in your body, adrenaline being a primary one, obviously. And what if it triggers memories? You're attempting to not die, so your brain looks to recall other times you didn't die to see if it can figure out what it needs to do right now.
Right.
And obviously, it does this at unbelievable speed. It's a brain, not a fucking Windows 11 machine. But let's say that that's what's happening when you die as well. Your brain knows that this is it, knows this is the end. And so as a last-ditch effort, it fires everything, man. It shoots every amount of neurotoxin it's got in the fucking brain to try to make whatever memory you have available that could possibly save you available to you so that you know what to do.
Damn.
Thus, we see our life flashing before our eyes. Now, I think that's pretty interesting on its own.
Really
Agreed.
fascinating. I would love to see that.
But think about this. Now, how do you apply this to medical science, right? Let's assume that the concept of your life flashing before your eyes is nothing more than a neurochemical reaction that your brain goes into when it thinks it's about to die. By the way, anybody out there like myself who has had seizures in the past or has had really bad medical instances and seen your life flash a little bit and then come back, what if it's that same defense mechanism? And that's part of what this study is looking to learn. But I think there's a possibility for a very interesting application of this science if it is what it seems like it might be. Now, again, like I say, if this is nothing more than a neurochemical reaction, then assumedly, if you could map it, you could also synthesize how that neurochemical reaction recurs. Let's say you could induce the brain to do that style of reaction to essentially kickstart or flood or supercharge or whatever it is, the portion of your brain that controls memory, in order to force you to remember everything at once. Let's say you could induce that chemically, right? So you could make a pill or a shot or whatever the case was. Now you tell me, is it possible that would be effective on people with Alzheimer's? Is it possible that could be effective with people with dementia? Is it possible it could be effective on amnesia?
Sure. I would
Because
imagine.
I don't see why not, really.
They say that even when you have those things, if you have aphasia, if you have all these things, they say that it's not that you actually forget the information. The information's all there in your brain. It's just that you lack the ability to access that information, right?
To open the locker.
Right. So, right. God doesn't love
God
you,
doesn't
so
love
you can't
you,
open
right.
your locker. Yeah, exactly. Damn, what if that book is about having Alzheimer's? Maybe I should get it.
Oh, God damn it.
I'm just saying, this is, I think, a story that I'm going to kind of keep an eye on for a little while and hopefully try to bring you guys more information about in the future. Because I don't know about you, but that's really fucking interesting.
Yeah, because if they can
It's
harness
very fascinating.
if they can harness the power that gives you the ability to recall those things and focus it into, memories you're supposed to be
Right.
recalling and can't.
Correct.
That could
Correct.
absolutely help out with things like Alzheimer's,
I mean, what if it's something crazy like, we're still kind of in the dark with Alzheimer's in a lot of ways. It's very unfortunate what ends up happening to these people. And if it's just that,
It's so sad.
even if it's something as simple as like tissue degrading over time, or your back gets weak over time, what if it's kind of a similar reaction? Just the path that accesses that memory gets weak in your brain. It needs a booster shot.
Damn.
Maybe we can figure out what fucking tonins and onins and ronins and whatever the brain excretes during this and try to I don't know. I mean, I'm not a fucking neurobiologist, but this is fucking interesting as hell to me.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
The neurons are not firing in the brain just to send the signals.
Right. Or maybe it can't translate them right, or maybe it's looking in the wrong direction. I mean, it could be any number of things, but
this may be the key.
A lot of us out there, including myself, have family members that have Alzheimer's or dementia, and it can be really tough to see that happen. I'd be interested to see how this might come into play, because all of us are going to be old one day. You know what I'm saying, man? Shit.
We might need it, yeah.
So, I know there was no joke in there, but I do think it's interesting, so...